Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you a fall video. I'm going to be talking about makeup that I'm really inspired to use for this upcoming fall. Makeup that I'm just really excited to break out again and try. I do have a few makeup adjacent products like a fragrance and some nail polish, but the majority of these products are makeup related. All the products will be listed in the description below, but they will not be linked because I'm not encouraging you or suggesting that you buy these products. The point of this video is to show you what I'm inspired by for fall, and hopefully you can dig into your own collection to find the things that you haven't used in a while and find your own little version of what you're excited to use for fall. So I have my little basket here and my palettes and my fragrance, and let's start going. I think I want to start with the palettes first. Let's start with the absolute classic Modern Renaissance. This for me, this is an every season kind of palette, but there are definitely specific times of the year where I'm just so incredibly excited to break this out again and use it. I did have this in a little project back in the springtime and I haven't quite used it a lot in the summer. I feel like a lot of us have this, so I won't spend too much time here, but I really feel like these kind of orangey shades are so fall to me, like reminding me of like a latte or some pumpkin spice. And then, you know, the brown and some of these reds also are just really screaming fall to me. This is a palette I'm so excited to play with in terms of those more punchy looks, but also those more natural kind of everyday looks. The second palette that I have is my Tartelette in Bloom palette. I did buy this in 2019, very late to the party here on that. But this palette is, oh, it's very bright out today and I don't want to blind you. This palette is really great for those everyday looks. And I've also really been getting into matte looks. I've never really been one to do like all matte eyeshadow looks, never. I can count on one hand the number of times that I've done that in my life. This is a more cool toned palette and I'm getting more into cool tones, and I think that that can be really great this time of year. But I'm also kind of excited and I feel like this is a fall palette for me because one, I am teaching again and my face will be available to students on our platform, so students will see me. And I personally feel that like for the workplace, I feel more comfortable in more muted looks. And if I don't feel confident that I can create like a natural looking eyeshadow look, I just won't wear it. Or I guess even if I'm in a rush too. So this is great for me for like my everyday kind of work palette. And I have been practicing those all matte looks. I've been very into them. To me, like back to school, back to work is very synonymous with fall. But the other reason is that I find more natural looks or more subdued looks are really great to wear or accompany a really punchy lip. And this is the time of year that I'm very excited about bringing out some more statement lips. To me, fall is definitely that time. The third and final palette I'm going to be talking about is the Flutter palette from Colourpop. It is a cool toned palette and it's very purpley. And I think this kind of tone is more synonymous with winter to me. This is a palette that you can wear all year round, but I'm very excited because of the colors. I'm really feeling very inspired by this color story for fall. This one, I feel a little bit less capable of explaining all of my rationale for it. I don't really feel like this is a summer palette, so I haven't really been wearing it that much this summer. And I think that this cooler tone palette kind of falls or can be in that more natural everyday eye look that I have been enjoying. You can make it more dramatic, definitely. So I feel like it is versatile, but this color story is just really fall feeling for me. And I'm very excited to play with it. Before we hop into more of the makeup, I do want to talk about the fragrance that I'm really, really excited about for fall. And that is this Floral Street perfume. It's Wild Vanilla Orchid. Now, my favorite perfume is the Tokyo Milk Dark. Is that what it's called? I haven't owned it in a long time because they discontinued it from Sephora. I think it's called like Wild Love. I'll have the name of it on the screen. And I haven't owned that in a long time. That one was called I might have talked about this on my channel before, but that fragrance is so fall winter to me. And it has become such like a personal and memorable fragrance because that is a fragrance that was like my signature scent when I met my partner. I wore it all the time and we did meet in like the winter time. That fragrance is really reminiscent of winter and fall for me, as well as like when we met. And so it's very nostalgic, but I haven't owned it. And I've been trying to find something to replace it. This definitely does not smell like that scent, but it has a lot of those kind of like musky, kind of masculine vanilla scents. I should have watched one of Karina Waldron's video to prep to, you know, describe this scent to you. But this feels so fall to me and I don't wear it any time of the year. I've been wearing a lot of the Daisy this summer. This is a very, very strong scent. Like just lifting the cap off it, it's like, whoa. So one squirt will give you everything that you need, at least for me. So onto the makeup. I have a couple of blushes that I kind of want to start with. The first is the Bareminerals Blurred Buff. This is a cream formula that I love. It almost like feels like a powder, which is why I really don't mind it. This color is very beautiful and I was wearing this back in the spring and a little bit in the summer, but this is a color that reminds me of pumpkin spice. And as I've said, that you can be inspired to use the same product or re-inspired by a season. And so I could definitely be inspired by this at the start of summer because it feels really like a natural kind of bronzy color. Well, bronze isn't quite the right word, but it feels much less of that like pinky blush. And that's why I like this, because of its like pumpkin spice kind of coloring. And that's exactly what I'm thinking about right now when I see it. I think that the formula is very beautiful. I love this blush, and this formula is honestly one that like I could just own exclusively and be very happy. So I'm very excited about that. And on a bit of a different note is the Glossier Cloud Paint in Haze. This is very beautiful, and this is definitely a color that goes a long way. This is one that like I would use just a very small amount, and I would just use a stipple brush with this. I probably wouldn't use my fingers, and I would just buff it out, like blur it out and get a little bit of that, like I was just out in the cold kind of look. And I also think that this is the perfect kind of blush to do a really strong blush look with. It feels frostbitten in a good way. It feels very, I would love to do a strong blush look with this, bring it onto the nose. I have just so strong visions for this, and I'm very excited about it. I feel like I'm gonna say I'm excited about everything because I'm excited about everything. I'm gonna leave the lips for last because I have a few picks, and I'm gonna talk about nail polish. Now I'm gonna talk about these three together because I did buy these together a few years ago. I think I bought these in 2014 or 2015. I'm pretty sure it was the first year that I was an RA, and I bought this when I came home in October. So probably 2014, and I have used these. Like there are big dents in them, and they are kind of gloopy. They are Wet n Wild, so I should have said. These are Wet n Wild nail polishes. They don't make this formula anymore, and these were a limited edition collection from like fall 2014, I think. I love these. This is basically the only green I own in my collection, but this is the main green that I wear, and I generally just wear these all in the fall. There's this beautiful purple color, this really wonderful red, and this mossy green. These are just staples. I will bring maybe this one into winter, but generally really strong fall colors that inspire me. This has become a tradition to pull it out in the fall time. And so for me, this is like a really signature part of my beauty ritual that demonstrates that I'm in a new season. Or I'll pull it out like when I'm ready to be in fall. So these are quite lovely. The last nail polish is this Nails Inc. I did get this at Winners, I think it was last year. I was wearing this in my most recent Project Pan update. My all year project pan. I really, really love this color. I think I could see myself really liking this in the spring too. It's not quite pastel, but it's a really cool toned kind of lighter blue. And I've been really into this color this year, really digging it. I want everything in this color. So this really, it's cool toned blue, really kind of makes me feel like fall. Like we're cooling down our wardrobe, we're wearing less of that warmth and that summer punchiness, and this just reminds me of that. Okay guys, last category, and probably my favorite. It is lip products. I have 5, and when I think of fall, I think of this lipstick. It's Bites Chai. It's so beautiful. This is definitely a color that I could see myself wearing sheared out, and I did actually see somebody wear it sheared out fairly recently. Well, maybe not recently, in the past couple of months, and I've never worn it like that, and I really loved that look that she created. This is also has become a part of my seasonal beauty routine. Like I wear this when it's fall, and this is the thing that signals that it's fall to me, along with those nail polishes. It's so special. It's so beautiful. I've heard a couple people talk about how much I don't like it. I think it was Sarah Rose was one of the most recent people I've heard say that they don't like this lipstick, and fair. Like this color is totally not for everybody, and that's fine. But when I heard her talk about it, I was just like, swoon. Chai. I feel like it also has this kind of cult following behind it. So I'm very excited about this. I might just wear this around the house tomorrow just because I can. Next up is Glossier Generation G lipstick in Jam. I was trying to wear this in the spring, and I think I was just like trying to force something to happen that like maybe didn't need to. It's this color here. The kinds of things I was saying about this really apply to this, that frostbitten kind of look. This one kind of looks more like when it fades, it does look like a stain. Pairing these two together I think would be such a beautiful combination, and maybe even just wearing nothing on the eyes. I think that would be really, really beautiful. These plummy colors that I feel like this belongs to are really, I think, a little bit more winter, and a little bit more cusp of the fall, but it's that plum kind of depth richness that I really love and does feel fall to me. This one here, this is the Fenty Beauty Mademoiselle lipstick in Thick. I was wearing this in a recent video. I was preparing my products earlier in the week, so I picked them and then I left them in my basket to make sure that this was the curation that I was excited about and that I wanted to bring you. And so this had been sitting in my basket, as I said, for a while. And I pulled this out to wear in a recent video that I filmed just before this one. That would be my August No Bite update. So I was wearing that in there. I loved it. I forgot how much I really liked it because it's been a while. So this is Thick, and this is not necessarily a color that is inherently fall to me like Chai, but it's that really like full coverage lipstick that has, that's also matte. And that is really great to me for fall and winter. And this kind of mauve-y color is something that I'm really into for this particular fall season. This one is just a color story, a bit like the Colourpop palette that I find particularly moving right now. Next up is MAC Velvet Teddy. I have it in a mini. It is a little bit warmer, a little bit more on like that peachier side than the other kinds of colors that I've had. They're all really similar. Like, let's be honest, they're all really similar. I know I'm looking at my screen so I can see my swatches, what I'm doing. They are, and I think that they might look a little bit, I don't know, I feel like the camera is making them maybe look a little bit more similar than they are, but I promise you they look different and they wear different. And to me, MAC Velvet Teddy is so like iconic status that it's like, it's a thought that I immediately associate with fall. And like, it's a bit vampy, it's a bit more warmer, and they do come across differently on my lips. Personally, I feel that way between Thick and Velvet Teddy. The last color is Bite Rhubarb. I'm going to swatch it beside the other chai color. This one, again, is a little bit more purpley and a little bit more mauvey, and I feel like when you look at all of these together, you can definitely see the color story that I've curated for fall. Yeah, very purple and mauve. That's kind of my thing right now. Because it's a darker, vampier color, I think that that's perfect for fall for me. And for a lot of people, rich, dark reds and dark purpley kind of berry colors are really statement fall lips and things that people so love to pull out. But my experience has shown me that when I own those kinds of colors, I don't wear them. And they languish in my collection. I am most inclined to wear some of these colors in the fall. And for some of them, I won't wear them outside of, let's say, December or past there. And so they just sit around and I don't use them. And so I don't really own any of those kinds of colors anymore. I do have some reds, which can be statement all year round. And so this berry color is probably the darkest that I'll go. And also, I'm really tan right now. This is tan for me. So a lot of these colors look much darker on me in the winter. If I have some pictures, I think I have pictures of me in chai. That is a lipstick that, like, I know it when I see it, when I'm wearing it. As I've come to know my preferences and as I am coming to change my consumer behaviors, having colors that I'm going to use is just what I want and things that I'm going to use up to the very end. And the honest truth is that I'm so inspired by this for fall right now, but I've owned this for about a year, maybe 2, and I've only worn this such a handful of times, very little. And having a big giant bullet lipstick of this is not one that I think will be useful. So once this is over, once this is finished, I'll probably move on to a different color, something in a mini if I can, because to me, I get my most value from my vampy colors in minis. The chai color is an exception. There's a noticeable dip on this, and I don't have a lot of lipsticks that look like this, regardless of color. And so it's very rare to find this like darker color that has a lot of wear on it. That's kind of my rationale and my reasoning behind some of my lipstick picks. So yeah, the color variance and the depth aren't as deep as I might have worn in the past, but this definitely works for me, and I feel also corresponds, as I've said, the kind of consumer behavior that I'm really trying to cultivate and thinking about the lifespan of my product. And this little exercise is totally helpful during my no-buy year to re-inspire myself with what I already own. I would really love to hear your fall picks, the things that you're really excited to break out for the fall time. Leave those in the comments below. And I would really love it if you would subscribe, like, or leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. And I really hope that you'll join me on this channel if you like conscious consumer content, if you want more fall content, if you want more project planning content. I would really love to have you here. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.